In a world of weather extremes, rising temperatures, ferocious flooding and droughts that have inflicted hunger and displacement around the world, including in Africa, the UN chief called for giant strides to be made in climate action.
Justice burns at the heart of the climate crisis, and its flame is scorching hopes and possibilities here in Africa. This continent accounts for less than 4% of global emissions, yet it suffers some of the worst effects of rising global temperatures. Extreme heat, ferocious floods, and tens of thousands dead from devastating droughts. The blow inflicted on development is all around, with growing hunger and displacement, shattered infrastructure, systems stretched to the limit, all aggravated by climate chaos not of your making.
Key areas of focus for Africa, first highlighting the need for greater climate ambition and massively accelerating action to limit temperature rises and impacts, particularly from G20 countries. The need for climate justice, urging developed countries to present a clear and credible roadmap to double adaptation finance by 2025 as a first step to devoting at least half of all climate finance to adaptation. And third, making Africa a world leader in renewable energy and green growth.
Home to 60% of the world's best solar resources, but only 2% of global investments in renewable energy over the last 2 decades. Now is the time to bring together African countries with developed countries, financial institutions and technological companies to create a true African renewable energy alliance. With adequate access to financial resources at reasonable cost and technological support, renewables could dramatically boost economies, grow new industries, create jobs and drive development, including by reaching the over 600 million Africans living without access to power. Renewable energy could be the African miracle, but we must make it happen. We must all work together for Africa to become a renewable energy superpower.
Ambition in mitigation to be in parallel with ambition in climate justice, with a clear message to richer countries.
Keep their promise to provide $100 billion a year to developing countries for climate support and fully replenish the Green Climate Fund. And all countries must also operationalize the Loss and Damage Fund proposed at COP28 this year. Every person on Earth must be covered by an early warning system by 2027 by implementing the action plan we launched last year. And 6 out of every 10 Africans currently lack access to these systems.
As the World Meteorological Organization warns that global temperatures are set to reach new records in the next 5 years. And with that, greater weather extremes. The organization warned in May that the global temperature rise is being fueled by heat-trapping greenhouse gases and a naturally occurring El Nino event. The organization's latest update says there's a 66% likelihood that the annual average near-surface temperature between 2023 and 2027 will be more than the key threshold of 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels for at least 1 year. While there's a 98% likelihood that at least one of the next 5 years and the 5-year period as a whole will be the warmest on record. Sherman Bryceby's SABC News, New York.